After my first attempt to climb Bietschhorn alone, the desire to complete this challenge was still there and stronger than ever. This majestic mountain attracted me, and at the same time it aroused in me a feeling of fear multiplied by its grandeur and remoteness. After a little over 2 months of my first failed attempt to climb it, I decided to take on the challenge again. Now it's my routine to arrive at my destination the day before and sleep in my car overnight.
It's 12 past 5. Alors j'ai passé une bonne nuit. C'était assez silencieux. Il faisait pas froid. Donc voilà, il est temps de se lever.
In the morning, I always have a simple breakfast before heading out for the day. My backpack is quite heavy because I have to carry all my winter gear. The weather looks favorable, and the forecast suggests a pleasant day ahead. I'm heading towards Bietschhorn hut. I locate the familiar path I've taken before, but this time it's free of snow. The trail leads me through a large tree forest, distinctive for the fact that they shed their needles during winter months.
30 minutes et 172 mètres de dénivelé.
I'm lucky. I come across a group of ibexes. The horns of the maize are impressive. The absence of snow at the beginning of the trail marks a difference from my previous experience, indicating the arrival of spring. This change of landscape strikes me at the beginning of my journey. I cross several streams, which is good for water replenishment. However, I'm unsure if these streams continue to flow in the summer. My goal for today is to ascend this ridge, spend the night, and aim for the summit tomorrow morning. During my previous visit, the entire torrent was hidden under a blanket of snow. This is what's left of it now. After ascending about 500 meters in altitude, the snow has returned. Typically, when the terrain is less demanding, I wear trainers to spare my feet. However, now it's time to switch to mountaineering shoes. The path runs along the north side of the mountain, providing shelter from the sun. This helps prevent excessive sweating. The opposite side of the valley is already bathed in the full sunlight, and I think it will get very hot soon. From here, the path is clearly visible. In winter, I traversed the slopes on the side, and had I known, I would have chosen this route instead. The sections with and without snow overlap. At the moment, I haven't used crampons since the snow is soft, but I need to be cautious to avoid slipping. When the mountain slopes are covered in snow, we often feel a sudden drop in temperature as the cold air descends. The sun is becoming scorching, and I'm bound to break into a sweat for sure. The view is stunning, with birds singing in the background. I need to keep going straight, but I'm starting to feel like I might be headed in the wrong direction.
Another ibex. Show moi. Voilà, nice.
I've just reached the viewpoint. This place is incredibly beautiful. Even though I know the most challenging part of the journey lies ahead, I'm tempted to pitch my tent here and savor this breathtaking view and nature. I will leave you with a few moments to appreciate these majestic landscapes. I usually avoid wearing gaiters to stay cooler, but the downside is that snow tends to find its way inside my shoes.
Juste il faut passer là et après.
I've just passed the Bietschhorn hut. Next, I will reach the snow line and put on crampons and snow plugs, shedding over a kilo from my backpack. I can clearly see the tracks of a recent snowslide. I need to choose my path cautiously, especially as it's getting quite hot, increasing the risk of an avalanche. I've just crossed this snowslide. The snow is really soft. Thankfully, there are no large snowfields to cross on the way up to the ridge. I'm hoping it freezes overnight. I encounter flowing water, and I use this chance to replenish my supplies. I truly dislike melting snow for water. I've just found the marker indicating the path, and I believe I'm on the right track this time.
Bon, j'ai remis les snow plaques parce que pour parcourir ce champ de neige là, c'est pas la peine, c'est trop profond.
I have around 80 to 100 meters in elevation left to reach the ridge.
Là maintenant, quelque part par là.
I need to take off the snow plugs once more and navigate through the rocks to reach the ridge. I'm almost at the pass, and there is still plenty of time to capture images with the drone and set up my tent at a leisurely pace. I decided to leave my backpack behind and venture along the ridge to locate a spot for my tent. Last time, I lacked the courage and strength to make this journey.
(3,172), 1,700 meters of level defense. Voilà.
That's it. I'm going to put my tent here.
Nice place. Hope that the snow is deep so I can dig.
I'm making the most of the good weather to capture drone footage. I'm uncertain if the sun will still be shining in an hour. After spending a good amount of time on this ridge, I can honestly say that I love this place. On one side, we overlook the valley, and on the other, we are in awe of the majestic Bietschhorn. Looking at this mountain, I think that at least the initial part doesn't appear too challenging. But beyond that, it's a different story, a whole new game. I'll assess it tomorrow, and what gives me confidence is that there is still sunlight and I can spot the summit. It's always a bit intimidating, when the weather isn't in your favor. Now it's time to set up the tent and get ready for the night and tomorrow. When I know I will be sleeping on flat terrain, unlike on the Eiger for example, or in the snow, I always use an inflatable mattress for added comfort. The only downside is that I need to avoid moisture inside, so I use a small electric pump or a specialized bag to inflate it instead of using my mouth. I selected a spot at the base of the ridge to have some protection in case of strong winds. Sleeping can be quite challenging in windy conditions. You can check out our video from SAS Almagar for a glimpse. As always, it's time to recharge my energy. Let's melt some snow, my favorite activity.
Une petite soupe. Chicken curry.
The weather changes very quickly, as it's often the case in the mountains. I have a feeling it's going to rain, so I'd better retreat into my tent. I had just managed to dig a shelter for my shoes when the rain started, and there was even hail. This is just the way the mountains are. Unpredictable weather changes in an instant.
Just on time in my tent. As you can hear, it's raining a bit. And voila, some minutes later, we have a blue sky and a bit of sun.
At times, I ponder why I'm here, when it's simpler and less tiring to stay home with a drink. But deep down, I know that's not what truly motivates me in life. I crave something different, something out of the ordinary to recharge my batteries. I often remind myself that we age when we no longer have new projects, and that's certainly not the path I wish to take. Suddenly, my meditation is interrupted as I noticed the wind battering my tent, which I haven't yet secured to the ground. I've got the situation under control, and I can return to my peaceful meditation. I'm seizing the opportunity provided by the return of good weather to capture the awe-inspiring beauty of this majestic mountain and the breathtaking sunset. Join me as we share in this remarkable experience together. Let's soak in the natural wonders and the serene ambience that this moment has to offer.
Well, we were supposed to have a beautiful weather. It's not the case. Voila the weather forecast for today. Big sun, not really. And on the summit, the same, not really. Il est 5h11. It's cloudy. It should be perfect weather today.
This morning for breakfast, I'm having scrambled eggs. It's time to depart, and I've chosen to begin with the ridge. The area near the tent is in fact quite steep. Here we are. I've just found a bivy place. It's always good to know, although some snow needs to be cleared to set up the tent. Unfortunately, the snow isn't frozen. It's quite slippery. The forecast had predicted it would freeze last night, so we'll see later and higher. This doesn't bode well for what lies ahead. There, you can see my tent. I'm heading that way to reach the ridge. No more snow, so I've had to remove snow plugs and crampons. I don't think I will need snowplugs anymore. It's very windy and the summit is shrouded in clouds. I hope the clouds will clear later, allowing me to reach the summit. In conditions like this, when you are alone, with clouds and strong wind, doubts start to creep in. You wonder if it's worth continuing, and the first doubts surface. So I remind myself to stay calm, to embrace this unique atmosphere that I'm not accustomed to. For frequent mountaineers, such conditions might be routine, but for someone who only ventures out a few times a year, it's a different experience. This view is at the same time terrifying and fascinating, a rare and exquisite beauty. I put the crampons back on before crossing this snowfield, as I felt more comfortable and safer with them given the impressive slope. I'll follow the snow. Attempting the ridge doesn't seem like a good idea. I hope this route will work out. Some passages are rather exposed, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm on the right track. The wind appears to be settling down, though it might be because I'm sheltered behind the ridge. Considering the conditions, I'm uncertain about moving in that direction. These thick clouds create a somber atmosphere that doesn't reassure me. I believe it's best to stick to the snow. The ridge appears rather intricate. Well, I've made the decision to traverse this slope. You can see my tracks. The snow isn't hard at all. Next I will ascend in that direction, and then I will navigate under the rocks. We'll see what lies ahead.
Je veux suivre par là pour arriver jusqu'au l'arête.
I've just crossed this vertiginous passage, but I still can't see what the path looks like beyond it. The route to the summit still appears quite long to me. Finally, I can see what lies ahead, and I remain perplexed. The temperature is rising, but the forecast predicts freezing. The clouds and the ridge don't provide much reassurance. I opt to pause for a few minutes to figure out my next steps. I've reached 3,602 meters, and it's 10 o'clock. I choose to hold my ascent here. It's already too hot, and it's getting late. There is still over 300 meters of altitude to climb, and visibility at the summit remains limited. It's a tough decision, but a prudent one. All signs point to caution. I'm now on the way back, and it appears the clouds are starting to disperse. I find the view of the summit both enigmatic and enchanting. This peak truly captivates me.
Bon, c'est dommage. Ça sera pour la prochaine fois.
I follow the same route, but I must be exceptionally cautious, as the snow is growing increasingly unstable. Once again, the summit is shrouded in clouds. I come across a commemorative plaque. Each mountain has its stories. I witness a snowslide, reinforcing my belief that descending was a prudent choice, but the risk remains significant on my way down. I reached the tent safely, leaving the first part of the descent behind. However, I must remain focused because descending from the ridge is still challenging due to the snow conditions. I take one final glance at this remarkable mountain. The summit is still obscured by clouds, making it easier to come to terms with my decision to turn back. Now, onto the second part of my challenging descent. I opt not to wear crampons this time, as there are plenty of rocks, and the snow is quite soft, allowing my shoes to sink in. We'll see later if this choice is right. As usual, my trousers are open on the sides and the snow easily infiltrates. I'm not sure why I don't close them from the start. It's the same story every time. The steepest part is behind me, but ahead there's a large snowfield that doesn't inspire confidence. As there is a lot of snow to cross, I decide to reattach my crampons and snowplugs. Climbing with snowplug isn't always easy, but it's a trade-off between leaving them on or taking them off and on again. I recharge a bit before tackling the final challenge, a vast snowfield marked by recent snow slush. I rediscover my tracks from 2 months ago, which is amusing. My ascent and today's descent tracks are visible here, and the snow has flowed here after my passage yesterday. It's a good thing I didn't take yesterday's track. It was safer.
Je dormis ici, mais il y avait peut-être 1,5 mètre de neige. Hein.
The greatest difficulties are now behind me, and I feel a great sense of relief. When I'm alone in the mountains, there is always a looming pressure tied to danger that often prevents me from fully appreciating the present moment. However, it's precisely this pressure that draws me here, something I can't find in our safety-conscious society. My adventure concludes here, and all that's left is to descend the trail back to the car. Voila! I've just arrived at the car. Absolutely exhausted. I didn't reach the summit, but this was one of my most demanding adventures. Thank you for watching this video to the end, and I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications so that you can be informed when the third episode of this adventure will be available.